Hey Art Club, welcome to Miss Talbot's home studio. I'm going to create a video today on how to draw Japanese comic book characters. Check it out. Hey Art Club, it's Mrs. Talbot. I thought it'd be nice to do a little drawing video with you guys since you haven't heard my voice lately. We're going to be doing some Japanese anime style comic characters. We're just going to really do the faces today. I'm not going to really get into the bodies or hands or really into the hair too much. I really liked to make comics when I was younger, and it's a great way to kind of, find an escape if you want to make up your own story about traveling to far off places. It's pretty great. So we're going to start with a front-on view. So to get the shape of the head, we start with a circle. Can you see that? I'll zoom in. And then in animes, they usually have kind of like a triangle, kind of pointy shaped chin. I'm going to put a dot right here to show where I'm going to go to, and a light line right here that's going to show our jaw. All right, so we're going to come straight down from the edge of the circle on both sides. And we're going to get our jawline right here. Now, depending on the character, they may have more of a point. They may have like more of a square face. It just depends what kind of character you're creating. All right, now that I've got the general shape of the head, I'm going to erase my guidelines. And I'm going to myself a middle guideline here, and I'm going to put one that's about halfway in between the top and the bottom here, and that just kind of shows us where our eyes need to be. All right, so I'm going to do a big eye over here so you can kind of see. Again, depending on the character, the eye is going to look different. In Japanese animes, the top and the bottom of the eye kind of separated. They're not all connected all the way around. So there's the top of the eye. Here's the bottom. Usually the top line is drawn a little bit thicker. And people do these different ways depending on the style. This is kind of how I do it. So this part right here is the colored iris, and then this is like a white highlight. Here's the pupil. And then I do some shading down on the iris from the top to kind of make it look like there's a little bit of a shadow from that top eyelid. And so that's kind of basically how we do our eyes. A little tip for you, if you are a right-handed person like I am, start on the left eye and vice versa. It's a lot easier to get your eyes to match if you can see the one you've already drawn and your hand is not in the way. And if you can't get them to match, which I don't know if I can or not, it's okay. We're just going to try to get as close as we can. And it's not a perfect match, but it's not bad. All right, we're going to give our person some eyebrows. And if your character's male, like this one's a boy, if your character's male, you're going to want some thicker eyebrows to make them look a little more masculine. Right now it looks like they have a really giant forehead, but don't worry, it'll all work out. All right, here's our ears. And I'll put a little squiggle in there. The nose is going to go halfway between the bottom of the eye and the chin, and different animators do their noses in different ways. I'm just going to do a simple little slight V shape for mine. And you can kind of see that line we erased for the jaw. That's where your mouth needs to go. All right, and we have a face. Now, if this were like a realistic person, the neck would start under the ears, but generally in animes, they kind of have a skinny little neck. I'm going to get rid of my guidelines here. All right, the hair. When you go to put the hair in, this is kind of where the hair grows from. So from this guideline up is going to be hair. If you want your character to have their hair pulled back or really short hair, this is what you would draw. You would draw this line here. My character's going to have a little bit longer hair. And I'm just making shapes like this coming down for some bangs. And we can see a little bit of the hair behind his ears. And I'll kind of erase the outline of the head. And there's kind of a basic front-on view. It's not perfect, but I mean, hardly anything is, right? I hope you guys enjoyed, and I may do another one from another angle here in a moment. All right, if you liked that one, I'm going to show you how to draw the head turned at a 3/4 degree angle. And you'll find that this is easier than drawing from straight on because your eyes don't have to match. So we're going to start with a line right here. This is kind of like where the eye is going to go. We're going to give our character that pointed chin. And we're going to kind of build this one a little bit different. I'm not going to do the underlying circle this time, although you could. All right, so this little indentation right here is about where the eyes go. So this eye is going to be a little bit more wide, and since this one's turned away from us, it's got more of a shape like that. All right, I'm going to fill those in. Eyebrows. And since they're turned, the nose is going to be kind of at a different angle. So I like to kind of lightly let my pencil find the bridge of the nose. And the mouth. And our thin anime style neck here. The ear is kind of lined up with the eye. And you know what, I am going to put that underlying circle, just so you guys can see where the back of the head goes. And here's that line I talked about, showing where the hairline is. And then we'll just kind of put some hair over that. And you could do the hair however you want, depending on what kind of character you have. And there's a 3/4 view. Okay, this last one is super tricky. We're going to do a profile view. So here's our circle. And I'm going to kind of pencil in where the jaw is going to be. It's kind of like it's not exactly a triangle shape. It's kind of flat on the front and curves up to the back. All right, about where the circle and that straight line meet, we're going to have a little scoop. It's going to be sort of like the scoop we saw over here, but this time it's the bridge of the nose. And you can decide how round or pointed you want your nose to be, depending on what kind of character you're doing. And then I'm going to do the top lip. the bottom lip. And then I'm just going to kind of darken our chin here that we've already started. And I'll kind of roll over the forehead a little. All right, let's get some of these guidelines out of the way. We're going to do a mouth. And you're going to want your eye to kind of have a little space right here. You don't want it right up next to the bridge of the nose. The eye has kind of a shape like that when you're looking at it from the side. Eyebrow, skinny anime neck, and the ear is lined up with the eye again. The only time the ear and the eye are not lined up is if you are drawing from kind of a weird angle, like if you're above your character or below your character. Okay, here's that hairline that we've been talking about. And we can go ahead and add the hair however you want to. The hair sticks up past that circle because that circle is our character's skull. All right. And I hope that this kind of gave you like some really basic guidelines to try and create your own comic character. I'd love to see what you guys create. Email me and have fun. Miss you guys.